Hi, as promised, I'm going to show you how to make some sprouted wheat flour. What I use are hard red spring wheat kernels. I bought these at Organic Matters out of Nelson. I get them in large quantities because I eat them as a grain. I sprout them for things like flour, and then I also do wheatgrass, which I'll show you in a minute. So you get these kernels, and you could have kamut or you could have spelt. They're ancient grains and they're packed with nutrition. So what I do is I soak them in water overnight, just pour them in, make sure you've got enough space that they are going to expand. They don't expand huge, but they are going to absorb a lot of that water. So I would do that tonight, and then when I get up in the morning, what I do is then I rinse them and I let them sit covered on the counter with a tea cloth over top. You want it to be a dark, fairly moist environment. Because it's for flour, I'm not sprouting it probably more than 12 to 24 hours. And as soon as they get a little baby tail on them, I know they're ready. And I know you're not going to be able to see it, but it just is starting to sprout. That kernel has broken open. So when that happens, I then spread them out onto a dehydrator sheet and I dehydrate them. And they can be in there probably about 6 to 8 hours. They're very small grains, so they dehydrate very quickly. So the other thing, so these were sprouting this afternoon, or they sprouted last night. They were dried this afternoon. So simply to make the flour, I use my Vitamix. And I have an attachment for dry goods, but you don't have to. You can use your regular Vitamix. You can also use very expensive flour mill, which isn't necessary, as I'll show you in this case. It's pretty loud here. That fast. It's amazing. So what I do is then put it through a strainer, because that was just a whole kernel of wheat, and I want whole wheat flour, but there is a wheat germ, and so I then just put it through a sieve and sift it. And I end up with beautiful flour, and what's left is the wheat germ. Don't throw away that wheat germ. Certainly add it to cereals. You could throw it in your smoothie, that sort of thing. The other thing is, I was reading, because I'm making that sourdough, is that can be one of the things you can dust your bread with when you're putting it into the baskets. Instead of dusting with rice flour or some other flour, you can actually use the wheat germ, and then you can get that nutty flavor through your sourdough. So the other thing, so as I said, I use a lot of wheat berries, and I eat them. So if these have been soaked overnight, I put them in on a pot on the stove. I use 1 cup of wheat berries, 3 cups of water, and I boil them for a very long time until they are, they're still al dente, which I absolutely love, and they have some texture, but it's wonderful with any of the things that you normally would do whole grain rice with. I love it. So that's one option for them. And then the other option is I sprout them a little bit longer. They get a little bit longer tail, and I grow wheatgrass. So that wheat berry that I buy, I can make flour, I can eat it as a grain, or I can grow this wheat grass, which then I put through my juicer. An ounce of wheatgrass is like a couple pounds of greens. So wonderful in the wintertime when you feel like you're not eating enough leafy greens. This can give you that real nutritional boost. So I hope you found that informative. If you have any questions, just message me and I'll certainly try to answer. I'll see you soon. Bye.